tell us what you think about Valentine's. You know, is it a dirty word? Do you celebrate it? You know, is it too commercial? Are you in love? You know, tell us about Valentine's.
Valentine's to me is definitely a beautiful, you know, something that you can beat up on. But I typically don't care for Valentine's Day, not because I'm not involved with a woman or anything. I think it's an everyday affair. Personally speaking, it's just my own opinion. We tend to concentrate everything to one particular event, one particular day, and that's getting into society's hype. I don't go with that. I break out of the matrix, personally. But Valentine's Day for everybody else, if they have an understanding and a level of compatibility, then I guess it's fine. You know, as long as you express what you express wholeheartedly, there's nothing wrong with it.
And is Valentine's a good day to pick people up on the street, on the subway?
I believe so. The singles bars and the speed dating, I think that would be an ideal place to go if you're not involved with anybody, and that's definitely a place to go. After hours where everybody's drunk, I guess it really doesn't matter. You know, just got to be safe, but it's okay.
all the single people are out invading the city tonight looking for love. So go out and have fun. If you're single and in New York, find someone, because they're crawling on the streets.
And I think would be a good day if you would embrace the whole one night stand thing. I think this would be the day where you won't have to worry about no repercussions.
Because it's Valentine's Day.
It's Valentine's Day. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as you keep the VD out of Valentine's.
Yes.
Play safe.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, I think Valentine's has just become too commercial, just like all the other holidays. That's my issue with Valentine's. It's like, I know we all say, you know, we should love everybody every day, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, we've said it a million times. That's good. That's fabulous. But I want to get the message out to stay away from the commercial of it, you know, because that's just, it's all about buying the flowers, buying the chocolate, buy, commercials, buy the diamonds and all that stuff. And, you know, that's one of the things that we should kind of hold back on, I think, for Valentine's Day. Even though it should be every day, the day of love, you know, not just one day, but, you know, that's, you know, one of the other things. But definitely, you know, don't buy. I went to Walgreens and there was all these people scrambling for, you know, roses and chocolates and all this stuff. I'm like, what is that? You know, that's ridiculous. I mean, Valentine's is just about love. Just draw a card. You know, go pick flowers from the wild. You know, from your neighbors.
That's interesting that you brought that up, because when you look at the faces of everybody today, nobody actually had love on their face.
Right.
Everybody was in a mass rush for something, and everybody was so super serious, but there was no really expressions of love in their face. It was like, okay, it's Valentine's Day, but why are you looking so mad?
Right.
It's interesting.
So, anyways, for those of you who didn't know, in case we edit this video differently, we're talking with Kie Cannon, who's an actor model here in New York City, and we met on the set of Man on a Ledge. So when that movie comes out, maybe you'll see us in that. You know, so we're trying to get Kie to come out and be a super actor model in New York City. So that's why we're doing this interview, to introduce him to the world, basically, right?
Pretty much.
So, you know, what have you been doing? I know I asked you this before, but we're going to edit again. What have you been doing, you know, in the modeling, acting world?
They had me slightly featured for last year's fashion show over at the Waldorf Astoria for Fashion Week of Couture. I was also on Man on the Ledge. And I was on an upcoming project, actually, that should be coming out sometime next year. It's called New Year's Eve with Ashton Kutcher and Katherine Heigl and Robert De Niro. It's an interesting thing. I'm now creating a better portfolio so that I can actually put myself out there more. I know I have a project to do like Law and Order SVU and 30 Rock, but they just need a good face shot of me and me to just, you know, be there, be adamant about myself. So I got to make sure I forward that to them. And I'm taking it for wherever, you know, the opportunities will flow. It doesn't matter.
So actually, we did a photo shoot today. I did. A lot of people don't know, but I am a photographer, and I did his headshots today. So you'll be seeing those on my website, vivalaRiviera.com. We'll put them up. and also on all our Facebooks and you know, maybe MySpace or whatever. You'll see the picture that came out really, really good, really awesome. Now tell us, like, let's talk about spirituality, you know, because we talked about this earlier during our photo shoot. You know, can you give us a little bit about, because we don't want to say he's just a beautiful, gorgeous man and just talk about, you know,
I'm okay.
You know, about superficial things. Let's, you know, because he's a hunk. When if you see him in person, you'll see he's a hunk. But, you know, we want to get away from the superficial also and talk about spirituality and love. So tell us, you know, what your thoughts are on spirituality.
Basically, more than ever, you know, people tend to forget that, you know, you have to tap deep within yourself and be able to identify with everybody, no matter who is who and what is what. And, you know, the essence of who we are is in our connectivity and our differences and our equality as far as our respect. Nowadays, we tend to get more in tune to the way society depicts us, to the way society wants us to think, to the way society wants us to act, and that's not working well. Whatever happens in nature first always happens to man, woman, and child next. And we lost that being in tune to our natural roots, to being sensitive to the earth vibrations, being sensitive to the elements around us, being sensitive to each other. We so numb that we can see somebody get beat up and just walk right over them. It's like, what's the purpose? We claim to be holier than thou. We go to church on Sundays, and those are the most days where most people are super conceited. And they miss the point when they walk over a lady who's hungry or the little boy who needs help, and they just like really bypass these people, and then you already failed the test. To know who we are, we have to take the time to research who we are, and we have to really be adamant and confront our own self, because we are our worst enemies. And the way we view the world is how we change the world. So we view it with an ugly ego, and we'll never be able to be the bird higher to fly. So we have to make sure that we fly the way we're supposed to fly, and walk with royalty and treat others with royalty. The culture always tells us about the past, and me for one, I always take, you know, a happy smile towards that, because they paved the road already for us. They gave us little incentives, little bits and pieces here and there, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I would like to tap into who I am more, which I do, and see what it is that I can do to contribute to, you know, people who may need my help. Would it be a boy? Would it be a girl? Would it be an adult? Would it be a bum in the street? Because everybody has something to offer. We have to make sure that we take the prejudice from our eyes and just see things for what they are. And that's hard, because everybody have their own little ideologies, their fears, and uncomfortability levels where, oh, I'm uncomfortable, so I'm not going to be over there, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Well, you probably just missed the point. You know, so you can't limit yourself to small, minutiae things. That's never going to get anywhere. And the ego is something that we learn either from our parents, for what we see every day on a societal basis. And, you know, to embrace who we are is the essential nature of spirituality. And you have to learn who you are first by unlearning certain things. We adapt to certain habits, we adapt to certain rituals and rote, and yet they do nothing for us because it's a confusion. We don't know pure essences of things because we don't want to take the time to actually sit down and find out how a person feels towards things. We have our own opinion, and that's never going to get us anywhere. So that's my basic philosophy, you know, to do what we are is to become greater than what we think.
That's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
We're just talking about spirituality here on Monday Nights Are a Bitch. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are coming to you live from Karma Club here in New York City at 51 First Avenue between 3rd Street and 4th Street.
Yes. Well, so now tell us about, let's talk about Hollywood. Do you think, you know, Hollywood, acting, modeling, if you were to become rich and famous, how hard do you think it would be to maintain your spirituality? Because, you know, I guess you kind of forget about it when you become rich and famous and all these fabulous things, but how would you plan on holding on to that spirituality?
That's a very good point that you made. The essence of that is to always have a level of fear about falling in the wrong place. If you don't have any real fears, and that has nothing to do with the outside world fears, but your own personal standpoints, if you lose the fact of who is who, if you forget who your real enemies are, then you are subjected to become like them. So you must always keep a balance of knowing what is what. And I say enemies to say that anything that goes against what you know you should not be doing. You can take money and then you forget that money has no value to it. But we have so much of it, we spend it, spend it, spend it, then we forget the point of like slowing down, like, damn, was I supposed to share with somebody with this? We're too busy getting self-consumed. And that aspect is something that I think, you know, knowing good people, having a good surrounding base, and never forgetting these people so that they can remind you, because sometimes we need a reminder. We're not always going to be able to remind ourselves. It's not like that. It's human nature. But get into Hollywood, I mean, being able to have my own personal quiet time, I think that would happen. That with some good music, instrumental music, all of that, I mean, it helps me get in tune to myself in such a way I find it's phenomenal. But being able to have quiet time to myself, peace of mind, playing with, you know, animals, that keeps me balanced, actually. It makes me feel like a child all over again, and that childlike feeling is humbling. So I would always make sure that I never lose that no matter what. It could be, I don't care what kind of woman coming after me, as long as I have my basic childlike feelings, it always keeps me humble. And I know that with certainty. Hollywood is not easy to deal with, and I'm not even there, and I can basically understand it by looking at certain people who was there. And they're not here no longer because of that. Like, who was really around them to like pull their coat, like, listen, what are you doing, what are you doing? Have some good people.
So, well, yeah, I mean, that's good. So hopefully, you know, we can really do that, because we don't know how it's going to be until we get to that point.
That's right.
So hopefully, you know, I feel the same way, but hopefully we can do that and maintain that.
I made bungee cliff off of some craziness, and you won't see me no more. You never know until you get there.
Right. Yeah. So now, what type of character, you know, what type of actor do you see yourself as? You know, do you see yourself more like a Conan the Barbarian, or like Denzel Washington, or, you know, how would you like to, you know, pursue your career in Hollywood?
I definitely can see myself as a distinguished gentleman, definitely. Maybe a little bit of playboyish, of course. You know, I would definitely enjoy that. You know, Take Two, yes, please. I can definitely do an action adventure role, and I find myself to be very fluid. And I don't know about the comedy role, but I can be very like comedic, like amongst friends and stuff like that. I don't know if I could do that on camera. I think that's like too personal. I'd rather keep that there. But definitely an adventure, thriller, you know, distinguished gentleman roles, definitely. You know, I'm not going to take a role that's going to compromise my morale. I will not do that. There's been some great people who have actually spoke about that, like Warren Beatty and Sidney Poitier. And you have these great people who stood for what they stood for, and they became renaissance in that. They became actually great artists. If I could fashion myself to a certain level degree just by learning, you know, like learning from you, bits and pieces will help me learn from that. So I could be very flexible.
Fantastic. Where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook.
Great. What's your
You'll see
Facebook?
the spelling of his name here, because it's a little different.
Yeah, my name is a little different. My name is Hebrew. But yes, I'm on Facebook. You can definitely check me out on Facebook. I'm aspiring to do some things, so yeah, check me out.
And if somebody wants to book you, what's your email address so they can contact you?
Okay. My email address is lakiecannon@gmail. That's LAKIECANNON @gmail.com.
Perfect. So hopefully we can get you some jobs out there also.
That's very good. And of course, if you have any questions or you want to contact us, please email us at sassyandsmara@gmail.com as well. You are watching Monday Nights Are a Bitch, and it's February 14th, 2011, and we're coming to you live from New York.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Lucky, for stopping by, for coming out, and happy Valentine's.
Oh, of course.
Mwah.
Of course.